Get ready for an exhilarating journey with Insight into Insight, all things society. Brought to you by Intelligent Office, Nashville Downtown, the virtual office revolutionizing business success. I'm your host, Lord Danavan Hylton, International Business Advisor and co-mastermind of Hylton Elite Marketing Agency, a growing sales and marketing consulting firm promoting brands in urban areas of the United States to increase their customer base and community presence. Join me as we dive into the world of influential business moguls, civic leaders, and community icons. Get your pens and papers ready as we explore the juiciest, most sensitive topics that ignite curiosity and fuel ambition. It's time for you to position yourself for unparalleled success. Don't miss the incredible opportunities at Intelligent Office, Nashville Downtown, your key to flexible workspaces and virtual business support. Reach out today at 615-928-1900 or visit 315 Deaderick Street, Suite 1550, Nashville, Tennessee 37238. Together, we're shaping a bold, dynamic future. Let's uncover the issues and empower success. Now, it's time for Insight into Insight, all things societal. Let's get started. And I am with my friends, Leo Wieffering, and Miss Anna Harrison with ADP. Thank you both so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you, Donovan. It's a pleasure to be here and happy to connect with you.
Absolutely. And Anna, how's your day going so far?
Going good. The storms in Nashville haven't been great, but hey, we made it through.
Absolutely. And so, friends, as I'm out in the community, building relationships, connecting, increasing customer bases, increasing branding, I run into a lot of movers and shakers, and I want to take time out to highlight my friend Leo and Anna and the great work that they're doing at ADP. And before we get started, Leo, if you don't mind, how did you and I originally connect?
Yeah, great question. So I think it was probably 3 or 4 months ago. So ADP actually came out with this cool partnership program where we were targeting, marketing agencies. Typically in the past, we had done a lot of work with banks and CPAs, accountants, bookkeepers, that sort of thing. And we kind of realized that there was a, division of the business world that we weren't necessarily giving enough attention to. So really that's how you guys came to mind. I mean, just doing some research on, marketing agencies in the Greater Nashville area and was able to, come across you guys. I think, Donovan, we had that initial conversation over the phone and then ended up reaching out to Miss Malika and setting up, a phone call just to see how we could partner. And from there, I think we identified, different ways that we could help each other. And it's been great since, and really looking forward to, the partnership that we have.
Absolutely. And folks, these are young movers and shakers here. It's very inspirational. And maybe we can get a chance to just ask them an inspiring question or a motivational question at some point, because I wanted to bring them on the show because, again, not only is this great information, but these are sharp young professionals. And I want to make sure that we are highlighting that. And so I believe my friend, Leo, he's the district manager of small business services in the Greater Nashville area. And Miss Anna is a top sales executive in the area as well. So they know their stuff, but they're also great people. And I want to make sure we highlight that. But let's go ahead and see why over 920,000 small business owners put their trust in ADP. And if that's the case, respectfully, in the communities that I serve, I want to make sure the entrepreneurs, as well as those that are enterprise business owners as well, are aware of ADP and why they should be considered for, and I don't want to give everything away, but I believe from what I know about ADP, I'm thinking payroll, tax and compliance, hiring and human resources, and benefits. Am I speaking out of ignorance on that? First and foremost.
You are not, my friend. That is the perfect description, and I'm glad you brought up all those, because I think a lot of times, people think of ADP as just a payroll company, and that's something that we've really evolved over the years to kind of make ourselves more of a human capital management company.
Can you now? I've heard, and so I'm in workforce marketing, helping employers find local residents for their available jobs, helping career training organizations find local residents to increase their skills. And in that, I work with a lot of employers, career training organizations, and I hear human capital management. Is that pronounced correctly?
Correct. Yep.
Human capital. And now, what exactly is human capital management compared to, I guess, the traditional sayings or phrases in human resources?
Yeah, great question. So, just kind of going back to, being more than a payroll company. So I'm glad you mentioned human capital management, because that's actually how ADP defines themselves as a company. So when we talk about that, we're talking about the technology that includes, process of hiring the right people, managing your workforces, and then, ultimately optimizing productivity and saving time as well. So I would say the evolution there has kind of gone more from a back office kind of administrative function to more of a valuable, streamlined technology that business owners can use when they talk about human capital management.
Does that benefit, respectfully, the employee at all? Because I hear a lot of back office, but there sounds like there's a front office. Does that pertain to the employee, and does that not only help the employer, but how does that help the staff as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all kind of tied together. So,
Hmm.
thinking about things outside of payroll, like things like benefits, 401k, and then even just having the technology to streamline for the employees, where they actually have an employee access app. They can go on there, they can view their pay stubs, their W-2s at the end of the year, and then also just being able to change little things if they have benefits and they want to change their 401k contributions or their, health insurance contributions. Those are things that they can do from their end, and it's all tied into one platform. So as soon as they do that, business owner gets a notification on their technology. And again, just kind of makes life easier because, back in the day, you're jumping around, or someone last minute right before payroll is supposed to run is like, hey, I want to make a change to my 401k. And it's like, well, it's already ran. So again, just kind of making things more productive and effective for not only the business owner, but the employees as well.
Absolutely. And it sounds like a great value, what you're offering here, and as I look to inspire entrepreneurship and to make sure that small business owners have, at least those that are in the seed and the startup stage, at least. I know and work with a lot of that area, but then you also have your growing and your mature stage. And so for those that are in the seed and startup stage, this sounds to me, it could be a little intimidating and expensive, for this. So I guess, what stage of your business, if at all, do you have to be in to maybe consider some of these services? Or how would that work for in between the just starting entrepreneur and someone that's been in business 5 years and are pretty sustainable, but they're still growing at the minimum?
Yeah, that's a great question. So just to kind of touch on, the types of companies that we work with. So, a lot of times people think of ADP and they think, oh, this, huge company that only works with large companies or businesses that, like you said, are established and growing and things of that nature. And while we do a lot of that work, the majority of our business, especially Anna and I, is with small businesses, a lot of new businesses, startups. I mean, I can't even tell you how many one employee companies that we work with, or people that are just starting out. So in terms of, business owners being a little intimidated, I would say that there's a lot of different realms that we can go with them. Our goal is to eventually grow, but if they're not at that hyper growth stage where, say, a 35 employee company is looking to get to 50 maybe, that's something that we take step by step. And there's no, one size fits all. So we're just there to be as best of a resource as we can, and really, like I said, encourage growth and be there to support them every step of the way.
That is awesome. So it sounds like there's really no excuse, respectfully, if you are just a one-man team, there's an option for you. What is the liability? First, just from your experience, just with ADP and in the industry, what is the liability, if any at all, when it comes to just payroll, taxes, compliance? Give me some, if you don't mind, some extremes. Maybe someone may have said, hey, I'm coming to ADP because I went through these challenges and I want to avoid that. Is there any liability, especially for those that, may not have thought, of getting into this realm of their business? I know we're going to get into enterprise and larger companies, but I want to just make sure we touch on those small businesses that, are doing something, but they need to just be more certain and legitimate in what they're doing.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'll kind of touch on, some experience that I've had, and I'll kick it to you afterwards if you have anything to add. But, when we talk about some extreme examples, and especially with smaller companies, a big thing there is record keeping and documentation. So in the, today's day and age, it's obviously a digital age, but you'll still run into those mom and pop shops that maybe keep their records in a paper format, maybe in like a filing cabinet, something of that sort. And you may not think that's a huge deal because maybe, hey, it's in the business owner's office locked away, but maybe it has, employee information, banking information, legal records, things of that nature. And just that alone puts you at a risk if that were to somehow be compromised. So, you think of that being somehow lost, stolen, God forbid, a natural disaster. I know Tennessee's had their share of tornadoes, and if something like that were to get lost, definitely puts the business owner in a really bad spot. So just from a digital standpoint, having everything cloud-based makes it more secure, and just having that on one login. So, you don't have to worry about something being compromised from that nature. And Anna, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add on that from your experience as well.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with everything that you said for sure. From a little bit of a different perspective too, like as soon as an employee or a company brings on one employee, like that first employee opens them up to so much liability from a tax perspective. So that's where we're really able to come in and shift that liability to us and say, hey, guess what? ADP is going to partner with you every step of the way from this first employee all the way up until, however large you want to grow. And we're taking on responsibility for all of those payroll taxes. So a lot of times it's a company doesn't know what they don't know, right? So if they don't have a partner like us to come in and educate them from the very beginning on what needs to happen and what they, need to do, they might not know. And then a couple years down the road, they've been operating and maybe not paying payroll taxes or following labor laws or things like that. And they get hit with large penalties. So it definitely happens. We see it all the time. So even though companies like to say, oh, we're too small for ADP or we don't need anybody right now, we only have one employee, at the end of the day, they really do, because it's better to start now on the front end than wait and, face penalties later on.
You literally said the words out of my mouth, Anna. I was going to say, pay the small fee on the front end, or you're going to pay the larger requirement on the back end at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yep, exactly.
Very and more so it's a PR situation, because like you say, you're opening up to people's personal information. That's word of mouth. I mean, I'm in just the marketing guy, and as I'm always preaching, legitimacy and certainty. Like if you're a small business, that's what you need to be pushing and promoting, and having someone, like you said, even if it's just the record keeping, and that's just something that most small businesses don't just take for granted, and paper form and things of that nature. But this sounds like a huge asset to put that indirect liability on an expert company. Almost 1 million clients, small business owners that are trusting. So it's not a question of does it work, obviously,
right?
But it's just awareness and making sure the individual has a chance to at least find out more. And I have a few questions, because you mentioned cloud-based, and I'm listening. But also, as I'm listening to employee payroll taxes, things like that, what about if a small business owner is working with independent contractors? Does that also apply, or how would that work if they're paying out? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, absolutely. So through our technology, the clients have the option to pay W-2 employees, which that's where the payroll taxes really come into play. We're helping with all of that. But on the flip side, they can also pay independent contractors through our system as well. So by doing that, it allows that worker to get direct deposit if they would like, the pay card option if they would like to do that as well, where their funds are becoming available directly on the pay card. Or a paper check. We would handle all of those three different payment options there. And we would keep up with that contractor's work throughout the course of the year. And at the end of the year, we're issuing that 1099 filing to the independent contractors. That way it's not falling back on the employer or having to find a bookkeeper or CPA who can issue that filing for them. We do that on their behalf.
Wow, very interesting, very powerful information. Make sure you're taking notes if you're listening, and make sure you reach out to my friends, Leo and Anna down at ADP in the Greater Nashville area when it comes to becoming more legitimate and bringing more certainty to yourself and your team and your business. So huge. So I heard cloud-based as well. And so I take it I guess the software, is that updated regularly, or how does that aspect work?
Yeah, great question. So the short answer is yes. Year over year, we invest a ton of money into research and development. So, a big thing with us is continuously making changes to technology that, can adapt to clients' needs and wants. So I can tell you right now, I know Anna just got back from a conference in Austin. And there's some good news. There will be a lot of new features coming to the system that I think a lot of business owners will enjoy, and obviously make things a little bit easier for them as well. But yeah, in terms of the other side of that, just compatibility, being cloud-based, it's essentially accessible on any device that you have. So if you're on the beach, on vacation, you need to run payroll, you can still do that. So just being as accessible and compatible as we can, and then obviously coming out with updates regularly.
Wow, so many opportunities. It's a beautiful time for humanity, to have so much access. That's awesome. I have a few more questions. I know we're getting ready to wrap up here. And now we've been talking mostly about small businesses and entrepreneurship, but for those that are listening and they may be more of what I would call an enterprise business, just a larger company, I'm assuming 500,000 or more, I'm not sure if that's something within your ballpark, but, for those large companies, and they're obviously running and operating, from your experience or just, your thoughts, what would be a good reason for more of an enterprise company, if they're not working with ADP, why they would want to, or what challenges they may be experiencing to maybe reconsider and connect with ADP? What's that value, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, and go ahead, Anna.
Yeah, I was just going to say, a lot of times when the companies are that large and they're really growing fast, they tend to grow faster and faster year over year, right? So every year they're bringing on more and more employees, and there's tons of different tiers when they hit, 100 employees, then grow up to, 500 employees, like you had said. Each of those tiers have different compliance pieces that come into play once they've passed that employee count threshold. And a lot of times these companies don't even realize what applies to them because they've grown so fast, they haven't been able to keep up. So that's where a partner like us really can come into play. We're helping them by staying on top of all those compliance pieces and having more of that proactive approach to them. It's like, hey, you're getting close to 100 or you're getting close to 500. You need to start thinking about these things. So we have that proactive partnership versus the reactive on the back end. And so another thing that I've noticed with larger companies too is a lot of times they do have, at least an HR person, an HR director, or even an HR team. And those people are great. They're in that position because they have the experience or the certifications to do that role. but a lot of times they don't have the tools to do it effectively. And so that's where we can come into play and say, hey, you've got the great people. You have these people that are talented. They know what they're doing. They're going to get the job done. But our technology assists them along the way and gives them all the tools they need to be more effective and efficient. And so a lot of HR professionals love when they go to a company that has ADP, or they have worked for a company that has ADP for a long time, because they've been able to grow with us and grow with our technology. And like Leo mentioned just a minute ago, we're adding more things year over year and more exciting things. And so we really listen to those clients, especially the larger ones, to figure out, what do they need, what are they lacking from us, and how can we support them better.
Wow, that's awesome. There's so much going through my mind. And compliance, I hadn't really thought about that aspect. And as you're growing, there's different levels, different levels to this, and so that's a good joke, bad joke from the neighborhood, but there's different levels to this, and so you got to make sure you're on it. So ADP is just as much a consultant / advisor as they are a, software and outsourcing partner, things of that nature. And so that's, really, just on that aspect, I want to make sure that my friends are just compliant. Like, hey, just reach out to ADP just to make sure, because you don't want to have those challenges on the back end, and with good intentions, trying to, work hard and do what you do best. So that is very awesome, very exciting. And I'm curious. I'm going to ask Leo first. I'm going to ask Anna just a few seconds. What was it about ADP that really that really just inspired you to represent ADP and help other businesses become aware of ADP? What was it, if you don't mind? How long have you, and more so, what is human resource more of your background industry? How did you get in this position real quick? And what was it that ADP really spoke to you and really said, hey, I want to support this brand?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's something that I'm reminded of, every day that I go to work. So I've been with ADP for about 2 years now. I come from a sales background, but for me, it's more than that. Especially working in this realm with small business owners, the biggest thing for me that I find so valuable is the connections and the relationships that I build every single day, because these aren't just my clients, but they're people that I can call friends to. They're people that, if I'm having a rough day, I can swing by their business, say hello, chit chat a little bit, and, just converse. And for me, that's a big thing. I know building relationships is so important, in all aspects of life. And I think just taking it from a standpoint of that way, and then also knowing that we're providing a lot of value to these business owners, we're helping them, give them the tools that they need to succeed and stay in compliance, and, continue to grow as well. So I think it's a kind of a two-part answer for me. Is just, obviously, one, I really enjoy, building those relationships, meeting new people, but then also, bringing value and, making their life, as a business owner, improve.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you,
Yeah,
Leo.
you took the words out of my mouth, Leo, there, but I completely agree. Yeah, so I've been with ADP for 4 years now, and I actually come from a marketing background, ironically enough.
Nice.
But yeah, I echo Leo in that, I love working with small businesses, the larger businesses, the entrepreneurs, people that are really passionate about what they do and got into business because they love, baking or being an engineer or whatever the case might be. And most of the time, like 90% of the time, it wasn't to do payroll or worry about compliance updates and things like that. And so, what really drew me to ADP too was that they really care for their clients. That's been like the foundation of what we've done since we started, and really being the market leader. And I think we've been able to maintain that as the market leader because we've listened to our clients and we're willing to adapt and change no matter what's going on in the economy or whatever. COVID was such a crazy time for a lot of companies, but ADP actually had one of our best years ever because we did listen and we were willing to adapt and change to better service our clients and really stay at the forefront of what was going on. So I know that will never go away. And so I know, no matter what the world throws at us next, we'll be willing to hit it, straight on and adapt and overcome. So really confident in that for sure.
I definitely stand in agreement on that, Anna, for sure. And I mean, as parent, respectfully, it's the best team that wins. And obviously, Leo and Anna are representing ADP very well. And if folks wanted to find out more information about ADP and get started, what does that process look like? How can they reach out, or what's the best way to reach out?
Yeah, best way, hit me, either me or Anna up. Donovan, I can, whatever is easiest for you. I can drop my cell, drop my email. Like I said, I'm in the Greater Nashville area as well as Anna. So, we're happy to connect. We love meeting in person and connecting with business owners. So, happy to do that.
Awesome. That will work. We'll see if we can get some professional phone numbers and emails in the description, or something where we can make sure that folks are able to reach out to Leo and Anna. And make sure you mention Hylton Elite Marketing Agency, and you'll receive a 10% discount on ADP, small business payroll, and human resource services. So that's why we want to make sure that not only are we creating awareness, but we also want to make sure you are getting the most bang for your buck. So save 10%. To be honest with you, respectfully, as small business owners, we want to be the jack of all trades, and we want to be a part of everything because it's our passion, it's our baby, it's our vision, and I get that. But it's the best team that wins, and you want to scale. And so when you invest in a strong team, when you invest in a solid system that's working, and obviously they know compliance and everything else. You don't want to build all this up and then lose it because of just didn't know, just of lack of knowledge. That makes no sense, respectfully. And that's not how you're going to grow at your company. And so I'm really, really pushing you to look into ADP to make sure that your human resources section of your business, you have a strong partner to not only get the information that you need and get the job done, but like Leo said, hey, you have a friend. We're here building relationships. We want to grow with you. We want to make sure that, respectfully, I'm not sure if they do mixtures of things, but I'm sure if you do business with ADP, their friends are your friends, so whatever that looks like, within reason. So you definitely want to make sure you reach out to ADP and make sure you let them know that Hylton Elite Marketing Agency sent you. Leo and Anna, did we miss anything that the people need to know before we get ready to wrap this conversation up?
I think you hit it all on the head, my friend. Really enjoyed being on here, and thank you so much for having us.
Oh, more than welcome, and look forward to connecting. And if we have a mixture or something, we're going to get as many people together so that we can all build and work together in the Greater Nashville area. Such a beautiful place. And thank you so much for your time. And before we get out of here, I want to give out a shout out to our sponsor one more time, Intelligent Office Nashville Downtown. If you're a small business owner, matter of fact, speaking of small business owners, if you're tired of struggling to balance your workload and administrative tasks, and you wish you had more time to focus on growing your business, then make sure you check out Intelligent Office Nashville Downtown, located at 315 Deaderick Street, Suite 1550, Nashville, Tennessee, 37238. You can also give them a call at 615-928-1900. And as far as their range of services, they're pretty much designed to help small business owners like yourself succeed, from virtual assistants who can answer your phones and to actually setting and scheduling meetings. And they also have a downtown location that allow you to actually bring your clients in or your prospects. Great administrative team when you walk in. They have all that you need to look the part and to provide a presentation. And if you just need a satellite office or just an extended hand to help you grow, you definitely want to collaborate with Intelligent Office, and they'll help take your administrative work to the next level. And that's all we have for today for this great episode of Insight into Insight, all things societal. Today, we're talking about business, and we're talking about making sure that your human resources needs at the minimum are taken care of in ADP, and respectfully and specifically the Greater Nashville office. is the brand to reach out to. And make sure you reach out to my friends Leo and Anna. You should have their contact information in the description, and let them know for that 10% discount that Hylton Elite Marketing Agency sent you. Oh, one more thing, as quickly as possible, but one word of wisdom, especially for the young adults out there, the young folks, and just in your life. And it's a broad question, but just from what you've experienced in your life, and you know what life could bring, what one piece of advice, this can go for any age, but just for young adults who are looking to strive and have them push to be all they can be, what one piece of advice would you have for the listeners to take with them as they go through life? We'll start with Leo.
Yeah, great question. And right as you said that, I got a phrase that popped into my head, and it's rent is due. So that's something that I try and live by every single day. Rent is actually due on the 1st, but it's due every day for me too. So it's something that I try and live by every single day. Getting up, going to the places, doing the hard things that make you uncomfortable when you don't want to, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. That's something that I think is essential for growth. And then, it makes you a better person, better professional, better friend, better teammate, whatever it may be. That's something that I try and live by every single day. And anytime I don't want to do something, that little phrase pops right in my head. So
that is, I love that. Rent is due, Leo. When I heard that lets me know you're definitely a mover and shaker and about your business. Awesome.
I love it.
Anna, what about you?
I would just say never be complacent. The second you are complacent or comfortable, you're never going to grow. So always be uncomfortable, continue to push yourself and have a goal that you're reaching for, that you're striving for. And the second you feel comfortable or like you're content where you're at, it's the second you stop growing. So never allow yourself to get to that point.
Wow. Thank you so much. And it sounds like from both of your messages that being uncomfortable is okay and it's a part of life. But either because the rent is due or you don't want to be complacent and stand still, keep pushing forward. Keep moving forward. That is so awesome. Thank you both so much for your time. Huge shout out to ADP, and we definitely look forward to connecting with you soon as far as Hylton Elite Marketing Agency. And hey, listeners, reach out. These are good people, first and foremost. They want to lead you in the right direction. Make sure you reach out to my friends Leo and Anna and the ADP team overall, but make sure you reach out to the Greater Nashville area. And congratulations in advance for your success to everyone in life as well. We look forward to the next interview and the next conversation. Take care, guys, and thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.